Good morning students. Today we are going to discuss the topic instructional media. Instructional media. The instructional media are used to help the learner achieve the learning objectives more effectively and efficiently. You are familiar with common instructional media such as blackboard or chalkboard, charts, model, video, film, radio, etc. Some of these medias are used to create readiness in the learners for learning experiences. They provide clarity, precision, and accuracy in processing information. They create visual images which help retentions of the learned concept. Some of them also provide stimulation to more senses than one. Many media have the capacity models of geometrical concepts, cube art, or case studies for learning principles of management. The instructional media can be used in all phases of development, organization, summarizing, and classroom instruction. They can be used with the learners of any age group. The instruction media are used to help the learner achieve the learning objectives more effectively and efficiently. You are familiar with the common instruction media such as blackboard, chalkboard, charts, model, video, film, radio, etc. So some of these media are used to create readiness in the learners for learning experiences. They provide clarity, precision, and accuracy in processing information. They create visual images which help retention of the learned concept. Some of them also provide stimulation to more senses than anyone. Many media have the capacity to provide real or almost real experiences such as cardboard models or geometrical concepts, cube art, or case studies for learning principles of management. Instruction media can be used in all phases development, organization, summarizing phases of classroom instruction that can be used learners at any age group. Then classification of instructional media in physical science. Instructional media can be classified on the basis of their characteristics. The nature and major media classify these media using their important characteristics. We will use four characteristics. The first one, stimulation provided to sense organs. The second one, learners control over media. And the third one, they type of experience they provide and their reach. The next one, traditional classification of media. The media in a traditional classification, according to the senses they stimulate and the message code they transmit. It may be noted that new emerging media stimulate more than one sense. They stimulate not just the ear or eye, both and sometimes touch. The media function is more interactive way. The first media is audio. Audio means voice. That means gramophone records, audio tapes to be used in tape recorder or language laboratory, stereo record, then radio, then telephonic conversation. Audio is the voice and any human sender of the message. Gramophone records, audio tapes to be used in a tape recorder or language laboratory, stereo record, radio, telephonic conversation. The next one, visual print or duplicated. Visual print or duplicated. Visual means verbal. That means textbooks, supplementary books, reference books, encyclopedia, magazines, newspaper, documents, clipping from published material, duplicated written material. Visual textbooks, supplementary books, reference books, encyclopedia, magazines, newspapers, documents, clipping from published material, duplicated written material. Then visual non-projected two-dimensional. Visual non-projected two-dimensional messages or pictures on roll-up board. The next one, flat picture. The next one, cut-off posters, charts, graphs. The next one, cartoons, comics, etc. Messages, pictures on roll-up board, flat picture, cut-off posters, charts, graphs, etc. Then next one, cartoons, comics. Then next one, visual non-projected three-dimensional. That means models, mock-ups, display material. That means models, mock-ups, display materials. The next one, diagrams. The next one, globes or maps. The next one, specimens. The next one, puppets. The next one, puppets. The next one, visual projected still. Visual projected still. That means slides, film strips, overhead transparencies, micro image system. Slides, film strips, overhead transparencies, micro image system. Slides, film strips, overhead transparencies, micro image system. Then sixth one, audio visual. That means projected motion. Audio visual projected motion. Film, television, closed circuit television. Closed circuit television. The next one, video cassette. Video cassette. This one is audio visual. The next one, new emerging India. New emerging India. Some of the social medias are used: Google, Facebook, MySpace, LinkedIn, wikis, blogs, YouTube, etc. The next one, teleconferencing. Teleconferencing means group discussion through telephones. Then cable television, localized television where feedback is possible. Then television or communication satellites, computer networking, mini computers, microcomputers, word processors, mini computers, microcomputers, word processors. Okay, these are the traditional classification media. These are the traditional classification media. The next one, learners controlled media. Learners controlled media, according to classification of media, while using a textbooks or an audio tape for learning, the learner can use his or own face. He may go back and read the paragraph or listen to the paragraph of the program again and again. So these may be called learner controlled media. Learner controlled media. Now the messages are transmitted according to the face of the sender, and it may not be appropriate for an individual learner. Mass media like radio or TV offer no control to the learner. Mass media like radio or TV offer no control to the learner. The various media can be placed on a continuum ranging from no control by the user to higher control by the user. The first one, TV and radio, no control. Projected media, non-projected media, computer and tape recorder, high control. The next one, learners experience media. According to the types of experience, the cone of experience has broad base of direct purposeful experience which can be provided mostly through instructional media consisting of real objects, specimens, and 56 methods such as field visits, observation, experimentation, etc. As we move away from these bases towards abstraction, we come across many instructional media which provide indirect or direct experiences. They differ in their degree of abstraction. Case studies, video and TV programs provide more life-related experiences, where radio and audio tapes tends to provide only verbal experiences. The next one, classification of media according to their reach. Media can also be classified according to the size of the group of learners for whom they are intended used. A computer assisted instructional program, that means CAI, for example, is prepared for individualized learning. It takes into account the difficulties which may be encountered by the individual learner, his or her learning, and its aim at providing help to overcome these difficulties. The next one, non-projected aids or graphic aids such as charts, maps, or models are used for small group learners. They are quite useful to teach a class of 70 to 80 students. Projected aids such as slides or film strips can reach a larger group because their quality of enlargement. Media such as TV, radio, or newspapers reach millions of people at a time. Hence, they are called media. We shall discuss the preparation and use of instructional media in detail in the some of the sections. The next one, individualized instructional media. Individualized instructional media. The teacher generally plans for the classroom interaction. That is, interaction is small or large group. There is always need to provide an opportunity for an individualized learning. In such an individualized learning situation, the learner works with the help of self-learning material which is in print form or in the form of computer-assisted instruction. The teacher generally plans for classroom instruction. There is always need to provide an opportunity for individualized learning. In individualized learning situation, the learner works with the help of self-learning material. With the help of self-learning material, which is in print form or in the form of computer-assisted instruction. The first one is programmed learning material. Behaviorist approach to learning developed by B.F. Skinner. Application of the theory of learning can be seen in education in the form of programmed learning or programmed instruction. Programmed instruction presents learning material to the learner in small steps which are called frames. Every frame consists of a small bit of information and a question or activity which calls for active and overt response from the learner. Overt response which can be observed. Behaviorist approach to a learning developed by B.F. Skinner. Application of theory of learning can be seen in education in the form of programmed learning or programmed instruction. Programmed instruction presents learning material to the learner in a small steps which are called frames. Every frame consists of a small bit of information and a question activity which calls for active overt response from the learner. Overt response is a response which can be observed. The learner is expected to read the information given in the frame and make a response. He or she is required to act overtly, that example, to write, draw, label the diagram, etc. Before the learner goes to the next frame, he or she informed whether he or she is response correct or incorrect. The frames in programmed learning material are prepared in such a manner that 95% of the responses made by the learner are correct. This knowledge of results provide immediate feedback and reinforcement to the learner. Then proceeds same way through the remaining frames in the sequence. Then programmed learning material. Programmed learning material can be prepared by the teacher after they receive some training on it. There are many other forms of self-learning material as well as the self-learning material produced by open universities for various courses in is form a linear program learning style. Instead of providing small bits of information in one frame, here we have a section on a particular subtopic which is then followed by some exercise or some self-check questions. Answers to the self-check questions provide feedback to the learner. So the programmed learning material is developed by Skinner. The application of the theory of learning can be seen in the education in the form of programmed learning or programmed instruction. A programmed instruction presents learning material to the learner in small steps which are called frames. Every frame consists of a small bit of information and a question or activity which calls for active or overt response from the learner. Overt response is a response which can be observed. The learner is expected to read the information given in the frame and may make a response. He or she required to act overtly, that example, to write, draw, label the diagram. Before the learner goes to the next frame, he or she informed whether he response is correct or incorrect. The frames of programmed learning material are prepared in such a manner that 95% of the responses made by the learner are correct. This knowledge of results provide immediate feedback and reinforcement to the learner. He then proceeds in the same way through the remaining frames in the sequence. Programmed learning material can be prepared by the teachers after they received some training on it. There are many other forms of self-learning material as well as this self-learning produced by open universities for various courses is a form of linear programmed learning style. Instead of providing small bits of information in one frame, here we have this section on particular subtopic which is then followed by some exercise or self-check questions. Answers to the self-check questions provide feedback to the learner. The next one, computer assisted instruction. Computer assisted instruction, CAI. CAI is based on the interaction between computer and the learner. The computer presents information to the learner. The computer presents information to the learner. The learner interacts with this information, for which adequate instructions are provided on the screen. The capabilities of the computer to stimulate, to animate, to replicate, to generate new examples are used for preparing CAI program. In CAI program, computer utilizes various instructional modes. The first one is drill and practice. Drill and practice. Second one, tutorial mode. Second one, tutorial mode. Third one, simulation mode. Fourth one, discovery mode. Fifth one, gaming mode. Fifth one, gaming mode. The first one, drill and practice. In this mode, the computer presents the learner with a series of exercises which he or she does by giving some responses. It provides the learner some feedback about the learner in the form of congratulatory message of it's right, or a correct comment of it's wrong. The CAI provides drill and practice with the repetition at a pace that can be controlled by the learner. The computer proceeds only mastery is achieved by the learner. The next one, tutorial mode. Tutorial mode is a programmed instruction. Information is presented in small bits followed by questions. The learner's response is analyzed by the computer and appropriate feedback is made available to hire. The next one, simulation mode. Learning experiences regarding real lifetime systems or phenomena are provided to the learners through this mode. For example, gaseous laws, nitrogen cycle, atomic structure, ecological system can be shown to the students through computer in a simulation situation. The next one, discovery mode. This mode uses inductive approach to learning, wherein problems are presented and learners solve them through trial and error. Then fifth one, gaming mode. In gaming mode, teaching can be imparted through play or game. National Council Education Research and Training NCERT has been running a project called CLASS, Computer Literacy and School Studies. CLASS is the abbreviation of Computer Literacy and School Studies project in secondary and higher secondary schools for some years in India. Initially, BBC microcomputers were provided to the schools under this project. Software packages in mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, geography, and English were also provided to the schools. Now, instead of microcomputers, personal computers with the more memory has been provided to the project in schools. So, this is computer assisted instructions, that's CAI. There are 5 modes in CAI. The first one is drill and practice, tutorial mode, simulation mode, discovery mode, gaming mode. The next one, use of mass media in classroom instruction. Use of mass media in classroom instruction. We have discussed the visual and non-projected and projected media which are mainly prepared by the teacher for his or her own class. We have discussed the visual, non-projected and projected media prepared by the teacher for the use of own class. But he may also make use of mass media such as print, radio, TV for instructional purpose. May use of mass media, print, radio and TV for instructional purpose. Mass media are produced on a large scale to reach the masses. Mass media are produced on a large scale to reach the masses. Because of these characteristics, they tends to address a large audience. The teacher may not aware of the exact profile of his or her audience. As OHP provides one-way communication, there is not only real possibility of getting feedback for the teacher. In all these limitations, mass media have the capacity to reach relatively large audience at a time with authentic, up-to-date information. Now let us examine how a teacher can make use of media, newspaper, radio or television for classroom instruction. We have discussed visual and non-projected and projected media, which are mainly prepared by the teacher for the use of own class, but he or she may also make use of mass media such as print, radio, TV for instructional purpose. Mass media are produced on a large scale to reach the masses because the characteristics they tends to address a large audience. The teacher may not aware of the exact profile of his or her audience. As OHP provides one-way communication, there is not any real possibility of getting feedback for the teacher. If all these limitations, mass media have the capacity to reach relatively large audience at a time with authentic, up-to-date information. Now let us examine how a teacher can make the use of media, newspaper, radio or television for classroom instruction. The first one is newspaper. Newspaper is a rich source of information. It communicates authentic and first-hand information. It is educating and entertaining to the society. We learn about current events around the world by using this tool. Today, most schools have computer labs, television sets, and libraries that are part of their curriculum as a result of media's role in education. Photographs, recent scientific information, new strategies to cope up with natural calamities like earthquake, instructions for general public, etc. are all published by the newspapers. Content of these news items relates to the school curriculum. In what ways can teacher use the newspaper in classroom? There are several ways. A teacher may use bulletin board to display newspaper cutting on a particular topic. Students can given to task for writing daily important news items on the chalkboards in the corridor. Another important method is preparing files of newspaper cutting on different topics or issues. These cuttings can be used for conducting group discussion, group assignments, or even or individual study. These files come handy when you are require information on a particular aspects of a topic. The files prepared by the teacher and the students can be maintained in the school library. Any formal or informal teaching learning process should be conducted in a way that utilizes media as a powerful and essential tool. By using various media such as printed material, radio, video, television, internet, e-learning and multimedia, media enhances teaching learning effectiveness. So, the newspaper is a rich source of information. Newspaper is a rich source of information. It communicates authentic and first-hand information. It communicates authentic and first-hand information. It is educating and entertaining the society. It is educating and entertaining the society. We can learn about current events around the world by using this tool. Today, most schools have computer labs, television sets, and libraries that are part of their curriculum as a result of media roles in education. Photographs, recent scientific information, new strategies to cope up with natural calamities like earthquake, instruction for general public, all are published by the newspapers. Content of these new items relates to the school curriculum. Uh, there are several ways we are using newspaper in this classroom. A teacher may use bulletin board to display the newspaper cutting on a particular topic. Then certainly you would like to involve your students in this project. The display material could be changed every week or so. Students can be given the task of writing daily important news items on the chalkboards in the corridor. This method is preparing files of newspaper cutting on different topics or issues. These cuttings can be used for conducting group discussion, giving group assignments, or even for individual study. These files come handy when you require information on a particular aspect of a topic. The files prepared by the teacher and students can be maintained in the school library. Any formal or informal teaching learning process should be conducted in a way that utilizes media as a powerful and essential tool. By using various media such as printed material, radio, video, television, internet, e-learning, and multimedia, the media enhances teaching learning effectiveness. The next one, radio. In many states of India, All India Radio Broadcast School Programs (AIR). The school radio generally broadcast programs based on primary and secondary school curriculum. They are broadcast in state language. A copy of the broadcast schedule for a term or semester and the syllabus are sent to school so that schools can plan their timetable accordingly. The school broadcast can be used or in the fact being used in two ways. One, directly at the time of broadcast, and secondly by recording the program on audio cassette by using whenever convenient. The audio cassette technology is more controlled to the users, the teacher and the student. A catalog of such tapped programs can be made for easy retrieval and use. Non-broadcast mode is also useful in classroom instructions. Institute such as Central Institute of Educational Technology, New Delhi, State Institute of Educational Technology cells of State Council of Educational Research and Training produce new based audio programs for school children. So, for example, State Institute of Education Technology Pune has produced audio cassette on English textbooks for grade 5th and 6th. Teachers can use them as the instructional aid. So, non-broadcast mode, that is specially produced audio cassettes, is also useful in classroom instructions. Institutes such as Central Institute of Technology, New Delhi, State Institute of Educational Technology, and Technology cells of State Council of Educational Research and Training produce need-based audio programs for children. For example, State Institute of Education Technology Pune has produced audio cassette on English textbooks for grade 5th and 6th. Teachers can use them as instructional aid. All India Radio educational programs are aimed at students as well as teachers of primary, middle, secondary, and senior secondary schools and are generally produced in collaboration with national education agencies like NCRT, National Council for Education Research and Training, and CIET, Central Institute of Educational Technology. Audio cassette and radio programs are generally prepared on topics which are more suitable to verbal communication. Sound, music, and special audio effects can be used in audio programs as to make them more effective. These techniques helps create visual images through sound. In AIR, in-house educational programs, the Indira Gandhi Open University also broadcast its educational program from AIR Studies. AR Interactive Radio Counseling was launched by May 1998 for students of open or conventional university. AIR Bhopal and IGNO ran this is an experimental program for a year to provide academic counseling in various subjects and to instantly respond to students' queries. But with success, it extended to AR stations. Presently, interactive radio counseling is being provided every Sunday for 1 hour from 186 radio stations of All India Radio. The next one, instructional TV. In most of the states, school television telecast instructional programs directly based on or related to syllabus. A telecast schedule may be provided to school as provide time for TV viewing by the particular class. School TV programs can also tap on the video cassette with the help of video tape recorder. Recorded video programs provided more control to both the teacher and the learners. State Institute of Educational Technology in 6 states, Maharashtra, Odisha, Karnataka, UP, Andhra Pradesh and Bihar, and the Central Institute of Technology, New Delhi, produce educational TV programs for young children age group 5 to 11 years. These programs are produced in state language and are telecast through communication satellite. These programs are not directly based on the syllabus of primary education, but they provide an opportunity to children to enjoy learning outside four walls of classroom. The third major instructional TV program is UG's countrywide classroom. They are produced by EMRC Education Media Resource Center and AVRC Audio Visual Research Center all over the country established by UGC. Their intended audience are college and university students, and English is used as the language of communication. Many of the programs can be utilized by the teachers and students of secondary and higher secondary levels. There are some educational programs in Wild America, Ascent of Man, Quest, Turning Point, etc. related subjects which are telecast on national network. If possible, the relevant programs can be recorded on video cassette and used as when required. Students should expose to such instructional TV programs, if not in school, that at home or using community TV set. One major limitation of TV is the requirement of electricity. Maintenance and repair also pose problems. In spite of these limitations, TV is a rich source of educational inputs. Then new emerging India. In new emerging India, we are using many types of media we are using. In this type, the students are actively study the lessons. Then new emerging India in education has been benefited by communication technologies in various ways and at various levels. From both the sociological and the economic point of view, the communication technology has made impact on education training. A number of institutions in the developed countries are offering courses through various communication technologies such as interactive whiteboard, computer conferencing, internet, and other modern media. Some distance education, open learning institutions in the developing countries and are also now offering courses electronically. As a result, the learners are pursuing their study through communication technology, both the popular and modern media. The essential features, role, and applications of modern or emerging media in the educational process. The emphasis of this unit is laid on those technologies which have strong bearing on education, conventional as well as distance open learning situation, the creation or adoption of new technologies, and their applications is evolutionary in many forms. Some of the technologies discussed in this unit may not be popular in education these days. Experience has revealed that communication technology strengthens the hands of the teacher, makes his or her teaching more effective. But remember that it is pedagogy and not technology that is important. Technology is the classroom does not automatically guarantee better results for students unless it is planned, designed, and implemented creatively and effectively. Technology should be studied and adapted to take full advantage of its capabilities. You can try to utilize some existing or emerging technologies in your teaching and assess their pedagogic effectiveness in your classroom. CAB, Central Advisory Board of Education Committee of Distance Education, recommended the urgent need of the use of electronic media in the educational progress in a view of its virtual importance, particularly to support distance education. It also recommended undertaking some experiment with new technological systems or developments with an eye on the future and is in keeping with the technical skills and advanced infrastructure available in the country. Emerging technologies appear to offer the opportunity to gain access to knowledge and closer to real life. This would lead us to learning society. This is a single new development that revolutionize the future education. Virtual reality and simulation will provide the ability for people to enjoy experience that could not be get otherwise. In this new emerging India, te- first we are discussing teleconferencing. Teleconferencing is an umbrella term that describes an electronic link or meeting between participants at two or more locations. Unlike telephonic conversation, which links two users, teleconferencing links more users located at different places, audio, video, and or computer technology. It is an important device of overall communication systems and is emerging as valuable tool for education and business meetings. Before we discuss potential applications and type of teleconferencing, we would like to highlight the need for two-way communication technology. One of the most market is interactive technologies application in education. All educators agree that interaction is one of the effective ways of getting or giving feedback in the educational process. In the words, feedback is essential components of 60, the teaching learning process. The ability of the students to interact with both the learning materials and the teacher varies. Like face-to-face interaction, mediated interaction also varies from one-to-one consultation between teacher and a student to one-to-many between a teacher and a class or groups. It is obvious that due to cost and accessibility to emerging technologies, one-to-one interaction between the teacher and the student is expensive. That one-to-many when queries raised by the students are answers given by the teachers and shared by large audience or classes or groups. Teleconferencing provides a variety of advantages to the teaching. The first one is learning at a distance or autonomous learning. It can be used for brainstorming, questioning, role play, group discussion, case studies, problem solving. It can be used to keep the students and teachers informed about important development and innovations in the body of knowledge. It can link various schools, learning centers at homes with main institutions. Thus can help teachers in providing quality education to member participating school or students. The guest lectures can be arranged through teleconferencing. The teacher can make live presentation and able to electronically meet the students in a classroom like situation. Teleconferencing makes it possible for participating schools or learning centers to draw upon the best resources and experts in the specific field of study who may not available to all schools or students under normal circumstances. Like any communication technology, the applications of teleconferencing in the teaching learning process will depend on the accessibility, cost, and pedagogic effectiveness of the technological configuration being used. Uh, the teleconferencing sessions can provide valuable resource to the students learning at a time. We would remember that teleconferencing format any communication technology will not eliminate face-to-face contact, which is called for different occasions. Depending on the nature of the knowledge or skills to be acquired by the students, and on-site contact may be appropriate. In this situation, the teacher can actually sit down with the students and make adjustment according to the need of their needs. Besides facilitating education and training at a distance, teleconferencing can be used effectively for conducting business meeting and manage monitoring the various operations of an organization institutions with a multi-campus. It relieves the participants from the difficulties of traveling distance, locations, and saves enormous time and money for them. The next one, audio conferencing. In audio conferencing, the students can hear the teacher and ask questions through the same system. Example, audio. Either the teacher or students can see each other. The motivated students are likely to be benefited more as they would actively participate in the discussion. The teacher has an important role to play in creating a favorable learning environment and sustain the motivation of the students. The level and quality of language used by the teacher also determine the effectiveness of the system. In a developing country like India, audio conferencing can prove to be an effective means of distance learning. Audio conferencing has certain limitations. Being audio medium, it is an unsensory medium that involves learning through listening only. It may not be useful for teaching those topics which require visual support such as movement of a process, demonstration of physical color of an object. This limitation can be overcome to some extent by backing up the teaching with the printed text such as workbooks, diagrams, handbook, manual, etc. Supporting on the backing material in the teleconferencing session. The teacher can refer to diagrams in his or her presentation, and in turn the students can ask questions or seek clarification on them. This way, teacher can direct the students to conduct experiments at the learning center or home. The next one, video conferencing. As the term indicates, in this system, students can see the teacher and the students can see each other. Depending on the use of technology, there can be two types of video conferencing: two-way video conferencing and one-way video conferencing. Two-way video conferencing. Two-way video conferencing is a teleconference where, implied by the name, video or visual information is exchanged. In the two-way video conferencing, students can see and hear the teacher and fellow students located at different learning centers and can learn in interactive environment and exchange views or ideas. The primary advantage of the two-way video conferencing lies in its replication of a face-to-face meeting. Students can react to each other's body language and visual cues in interpersonal transactions. A two-way video conferencing can accommodate a range of information including graphics and possibly scanned documents. The video conferencing can be either motion or non-motion operations. The term motion implies that teachers can appear on television screen in a lifelike manner. It can range from full motions, where transmissions may look like conventional broadcast television, to limited motion, where movements may be jerky and there is a deterioration in the picture quality. The non-motion or free frame video conferencing, the second category, consisting of the series of still images that appear on the screen. Even though its visual element is not just lifelike, audio hookup could support a conversation. Two-way video conference is a costly affair. We need to create the necessary infrastructure to transmit and receive visual signals at both the learning and the teaching centers. Besides, we have to equip the teaching and the learning ends with the camera crew and the technical staff to manage two-way video conferencing. One-way video conferencing. In one-way video conferencing, the audio-video information can be a one-way stream from the institution teaching end to its learning centers of schools. This centers school may communicate with the teaching intern with the telephone or audio-based hookup. The connection can be used for question and answer session, discussion or relevant points for the clarification of the specific details. The next one, computer conferencing. The term computer conferencing refers to computer-based meeting for exchange pictures, words, graphics between multiple sites. Special hardware and software systems are used to support computer conferencing activities in both real-time and not real-time. Real-time in this context implies synchronous communication in which messages can be sent and received. You view the screen and interact with the system and other participation tied in the next in the network. The non-real-time elements that asynchronous communication is contrast many emphasis a series of longer messages and central database information and record of current and past comments and all participations can be seen in this computer conferencing. So these are the instructional medias are used in teaching physical science. In this first we are discussing the traditional classification of media. The next and the use of media, we are using media in classroom instructions. The next one we are discussing new emerging India, which medias are used. Okay, thank you.